G'day. We frequently get asked about photography. We get asked questions about it. People make very nice comments. People make some very constructive criticism. Some of it legitimate, some of it a little harsh. But I thought it would be interesting to talk to the event photographer, Craig Greenhill from Salty Dingo here. Talk a little bit about what he's been doing in photography, because many of you will know his very distinctive style. And then maybe talk about a few tips for anybody who wanted to start shooting yachts in one form or another. So Craig, kick us off. Tell us a little bit about how you ever got into photography in the first place.
Crosby, I wanted to be a pilot, but I wasn't smart enough. I was too heavy. My eyes not good. Picked up a camera and I took it. I loved it from day one. And I grew up on the water, so it developed this passion for marine photography, sailing. I love the yachts. They're just beautiful. So.
And you were a news photographer, of course, as well.
I was press photographer for 17 years, and it took me around the world. Took me to horrible scenes, beautiful scenes. The amount of people. I love the best part of the job is the people you meet. You can meet kings, or you can meet people that are struggling on the street and connect with them. That's what I love.
Yeah, that's fantastic. So you've got a very distinctive style. You also shoot from just about every possible perspective, and you'll talk a little bit about that. Up in choppers, with drones, down on the water. Tell us a little bit about some of the different perspectives there.
Yeah, you got to really mix up the perspective of your photography to make it interesting. If you stay on one level, use one camera, one lens, it gets all the same. So we get a helicopter provided to us for this regatta by Hamilton Island Race Week, and we get up high. We sometimes go really high, 1,500 feet, and look down and the boats look tiny. Or if we've got a confident pilot, we'll get right in front of the fleet. And
there was plenty of that. You were below mast level a lot of this week.
Well, I often say to my pilot, "Do you want to be a boat driver today or a pilot?" Because we get sometimes lower. There was a shot I shot once, and we were dead set copying spray from the back of the boat into the helicopter because we were so low. I had wet feet. Yeah.
And you've also, you've done, we've both done offshore stuff, but you've done photography offshore as well, haven't you, on board?
Yeah, I started my sailing photography in offshore photography. I started my first regatta was in Sydney to Hobart, and on board a Volvo 60, and I've done several Sydney to Hobarts with a camera in hand. It's the most challenging environment, but it's the most rewarding. Yeah,
absolutely. And talking about challenging, one of the big challenges is actually getting to a sort of safe position where you can get those shots as well, especially when you're on a boat. That's pretty critical, isn't it?
Yeah, you got to be comfortable with your presence on the boat and be able to put yourself where anyone of the sailors will go. If you can get down the pointy end when they're getting smashed by waves, not only will you get a photo, if you can keep the water off your lens, you change your cameras, use GoPros or whatever. But you also get the respect to your crew that you're not willing to just sit in the cockpit. You're a sailor too, and you have to chip in when things are going down. It's hard to. Do I take photos or do I help save the boat? No, I'm going to save the boat first.
Absolutely, safety first. But it is interesting, isn't it? Just sort of trying to get yourself into those positions, and it helps enormously if you sail, because you start to predict what's going to happen as well.
Oh, 100%. You could get yourself in a lot of trouble if you don't understand the rules of sailing and predict where the boats are going to go, because they're going to turn on you. They're not going to worry about you. They got right away, and they're going to hit you. Yeah. So, but you can use that. You can predict. All right, I can actually get within an inch of that bowsprit without being killed.
That's handy.
It's like the helicopter. There's real fine tolerances there.
Yeah.
But I've only hit a boat twice.
Oh, well, that's good news. So you're very renowned for your beautiful, sort of really rich colour. When did that all sort of start to kick in for you?
I was inspired by a wedding photographer, actually, who took an image and produced using the right light and the right post-production just to bring out all the elements. And I just practiced that in my press photography, and I just took it to another level. I started winning all these awards in press photography, and I go, I'm going to bring that to sailing. And I try to bring out a vibrance. I know in any environment, even a cloudy day, rainy day, there's colour there. Yeah, but I enhance it a fair bit. I use the right exposure. But what I do in post-production, that's a secret.
Yes, and I know it's a secret because I've asked him several times and I've got absolutely nothing out of it.
Well, I have given you a couple of tips back in the early days.
You've given me plenty of tips. I've done pretty well.
I've learned a lot off you, mate. You've been here, 20 years or so, and you're a leader in the game, and I love learning off you guys.
Well, that's very generous of you. So I asked you if you would give us, for anybody who's interested in getting into photography of boats, or they've started that, what would be your top 3 tips to them for the start, beginning? What things should they be doing?
Yeah, like look for your backgrounds. You might see a sunny day out there, but either when you get in that background, look for light, either full light or no light. So backlit. Yeah. I often go with backlit because it just evens everything the scene up. And look for your background. You want interesting. You want a bit of green, a bit of mountains, a bit of cloud, whatever. If it's just go tight. Go tight on the people and isolate. Photography is about what you don't show. It's what's in the frame, and that's all up to you. It's what you frame, whether it's the boat, the people, the background. Just be a bit more creative about not just going, oh wow, bang.
And you can sort of see it, can't you? I always know when there's a good shot I've taken. I know I can crop that one. That's going to be a gem, yeah?
Yeah, I get RSI, so I try not to crop too much, but you always have to because you just need to be that closer. But get yourself closer to the subject. Yeah. Okay. If you're on a power boat, get closer to the sailing boat. If you can lean over the rail and get a shot without touching the boat, that's in the rules, you can do it.
And that's the other thing which you do, and I think, I try and do a little bit as well, is that occasionally you get close enough that you're using a fairly wide angle lens and then really low and you get some beautiful render of the water.
Yeah, you can get real low. Like if it was not so windy today, like we've had amazing wind this week, I'd be in the water. In the rib, I have my underwater housing, my cozies. I'm ready to jump in as soon as there's an opportunity. Jump into a mark and just change that perspective. Get below and look up at the boat, and the sailors will look down and go, "Hey, what's going on down there?" And it just produces surprise moments.
So, what are the tips for starters?
Well, your composition. So look for your backgrounds. Look for nice clean settings. Don't show everything. Isolate things. And your exposure, your light. Photography is about light. So look for those moments of light. If a cloud cover comes over, just be patient. Yeah. Wait till the sun pops again. You might have a really deep sky behind, but the boat is hit by the sun. Just be patient. Wait for that moment. Yeah. Try not to shoot too many frames, but that's
and you're quite right, especially up here this week. There's been a lot of cloud cover just coming and going, and it's when it's just got that pop. We had a beautiful thing, classic stuff, dark clouds as background down Whitsunday Passage, and then the boats going down, surf and everything, and those are the colours. And then literally 30 seconds later, when the cloud cover is, it's all just uniform grey. So yeah, patience, absolutely. Anything else for anybody else?
Yeah. Well, yeah, your light, your composition, and your backgrounds, they're probably key. And change your perspective. Don't. You might have a favourite lens. Don't use it all day long. Yeah, mix it up. Get close. Get further away. Yeah. And sometimes just step back and have a look. Yeah. And you might just go, there is a beautiful shot. In not worrying about the boat, but worrying about the scenery behind it.
Especially up here. Those are really good. Now that's pretty symptomatic because Craig's not giving you any technical stuff because he's really more interested in that's his hallmark, if you like, is the art of that. 2 things probably I would say, just sort of at a very basic level. Number 1, the phones are getting crazily good. So like I was on Comanche on Friday on training day. I previously used all my my 1DX and so forth. I just used my phone. It was perfectly fine for that. It was really nice and nimble. That really helps. You don't have to be on a boat to get great shots. Some of our best footage has been shot from this deck here. And the beauty is you can get pretty affordable long lenses, and the rest you can almost do with your phone. I mean, it's literally that good. And the last piece is 2 things from me when you get on a boat. Number 1, get a good driver who actually understands it, if you're lucky enough to do that. Most of the media boats are great. You've got a fantastic driver for you. And the second thing is protect your gear. You can wreck gear, and it's not just because you get a big wave over the thing, it's salt in the air the whole time, yeah?
Yeah, I've lost a lens yesterday that needs servicing, and it's not going to work today. Yeah. So that's going to be happening. That's just a bit of spray. Yeah. And the salt water just gets in. Yeah. With the phones, 100%. The best phone you can ever... best camera is the one you have close to you. And this one is the one I have. This is my best camera. Yeah. And you see what some I'm not very creative with my phone, but if you play with the settings and you get this shallow depth of field stuff, this food photography on the water, you'll just come up with amazing stuff. So Yeah,
Well,
don't just have thousands of dollars worth of gear like we.
Well, thanks so much, Craig. It's fantastic
Crosby.
looking at your photos. I always enjoy sharing the media centre with you, and hopefully we've got many more of those.
Thanks, Crosby. Mate, I love. Every year I've been here with Balcaddy beside us, and we love the team. You guys are doing really amazing stuff in the sailing world, telling people stories, and appreciate your time.
There you go. That's a very nice plug. Thanks for that, guys. We'll catch you later.